the Diamond Factory. If you're here and this is your very first time on this call, we want to welcome you to Wakana Nation. This is the Diamond Factory where this has been taking place since this company started with our chief sales officer. I'm sitting in for her. They're probably out there hula hooping on the lakefront if the weather's right. And I tell you, I'm excited because of the things that are taking place here at Wakana. I'm going to get out the way because today is the day. Y'all know I'm a sports fan, and football season has already kicked off with preseason, but we always get in the huddle here at Wakana. And the reason we get in the huddle with our coach is to get the instructions, to get the information, to get the inspiration, and even to get the correction. So listen, get ready, get your pen, get your paper. Our VP of Training and Development, Coach Dan Johnson. Coach Dan, are you out?
Great morning to you, Coach Ross. I trust and pray that all is well with everybody that is. I'm just going to use that. We're going to call this Wednesday morning huddle. Since every time you talk, we're in the huddle. You are in the huddle with Coach, and Coach is getting ready to call the play. And so here's what's going to happen. Today, I'm going to deal with something that I know all of you have had to deal with. All of you have had to deal with what I'm going to deal with and what I'm going to talk about today. So I hope you have your pen and paper ready to go. Hope you're ready to go. Let's get ready to go. Are you ready to go? Let's get ready to go. I know for a fact that every person on this line that have ever remotely tried, watch this, to either A, sell products to a potential client, or B, get your family member, friend, or somebody you just met to join Wakana. I know, and I wish we was on chat because I say y'all put it in the chat box, but I know every person, every one of you have heard these two words. It's two words that I know that many of you have already heard. I know for a fact you've heard it. Those two words are, guess what? Let me say this. Before Wakana came, and the chief sales officer would come to me and ask me about joining her team, my response would be what you've heard. It would be these two words. Every time she came. When she came to me about different things that she was in, after a certain time, my response was not interested. How many of you have heard that before? If I was in a room and I was doing this training, or if we were on the Sales Academy, or Wakana Success Academy training platform, and I was doing this training, let me tell you, I would ask you to lift up your hands in the room, lift up your hands, and show me if you ever heard those words, not interested, not interested. You know what? When I was coming up, there was some young ladies that I thought would be, it would be their privilege to have me on a date with them. And there was about 2 times in my entire life, 2 times. How many times? 2 times in my entire life, them young ladies said not interested. But they didn't know better. They didn't know better. And I'm going to tell you, here's what's funny. Not interested then did not necessarily mean not interested now. Because as I've seen them later in life, guess what? What was not interested at before, all of a sudden became interested now. So here's what I want to tell you. Here's the first thing I want you to write down. Not interested does not mean no. I want y'all to write that down. Because, see, what we do is when someone tells us they're not interested, we have the tendency to write them off the list. When someone says, I'm not interested, they have the tendency to write them off the list. Let me say this. Let me say this to you. My wife, on the day that she and I officially met as a potential interest to become a couple, the gentleman, we had a mutual friend. We had a mutual friend that was trying to hook us up. And on that particular night, we both uttered the words, not interested. I need y'all to understand that not interested doesn't mean no. And it was later on down the line where there was a need that I had. Come on, I'm not going to tell you that. I want to get ahead of myself. So, because I'll be on this call all day. So here it is, real quick. I only got 9 minutes to drop this. 9 minutes. Not interested doesn't mean no. That's the header of today. Of today's huddle, not interested doesn't mean no. What does it mean, coach? It means I hear you, but you have not gotten my attention. Ha! This is good stuff already. I'm excited. I'm excited for myself. I feel like it's Sunday morning. Here it is. Here it is. I hear you, but you have not gotten my attention. In other words, as you were talking, so understand, for them to say not interested, they've given you some type of audience. No matter how much time they gave you some type of audience. And for them to say not interested, they gave you some. So that means in that time span that they gave you, you lost their interest. Now, why does people lose interest? Number one, because we're selling them instead of consulting them. So let me tell you, there was a meat truck. There's a meat truck. I don't know if any of you ever have seen a meat truck where they have all of these fresh cut steaks and all of this stuff on their truck, right? And people will buy this high-end meat off the meat truck. And I remember one time I came across one of those meat trucks and everybody was out there buying meat and things of that nature. And when I got to the truck, what I wanted wasn't steak, even though he had the best steak. What I wanted wasn't beef patties, even though he had the best beef. What I wanted was seafood, because on the truck it said seafood and meat. And he did not have seafood on his truck. So what he kept doing was trying to sell me something that I did not want. So obviously, guess what? He never got the sale. So number one, people lose interest because you're selling them instead of consulting them. Guess how he could have got the sale? It wasn't that he didn't sell seafood. It was that he did not have any seafood left on his truck. So if he moved out of selling, and listen, I want y'all to know this is a good point, whether you like it or not, and begin to consult me, he could have potentially had me as a customer for life. But I didn't feel like coaching him that day. Had he said, I tell you what, sir, my next shipment comes in on this date, or I'll have fresh seafood on XYZ date. Can I give you my number, or can I take, even more importantly, can I take your number? And when I get the seafood, I'm going to give you a call and we can connect so that you can so I can give you what you want. Y'all see that? That's consulting. Hey, sir, I tell you what area do you live in? Start asking me questions. What kind of seafood do you like? Do you like lobster? Do you like scallops? Do you like shrimp? I got the big prawns. Are y'all seeing that? Now he's consulting me. He's asking me questions. Right? So number one, people lose interest because we're selling them instead of consulting them. Number two, people lose interest because we're talking at them instead of talking to them. We're sounding like a run-on sentence. We get so excited about what we have that we pass that excitement on recklessly. And what I mean by passing it on recklessly is that we We just keep going. We're just vomiting everything out. And as a result of that, people lose interest because you're just talking at them. You haven't found watch this, here we go. This is going to be good. You have not found a common denominator to share in the excitement. And as a result of you not finding the common denominator to share in the excitement, you just keep running on and you've already lost interest. Third reason why people lose interest, and then I only got about 4 more minutes. I may steal a little bit more time back. If I was in a classroom, I ask you, can I get more time? Can I get more time? Because I want you to get this. The third thing is, it does not solve a problem they have. Or, here we go, at least you have not done a good job proving it to them. So they're not interested. Because what you have not, even if it does solve a problem they have, you have not properly positioned your proposition. Y'all remember that teaching? Properly position your proposition where they can see how what you have can fix their problem. That's the third reason. Now, real quick. So how do you get them interested, Coach? I'm glad you asked. The first thing you do, remember, instead of selling, you want to be consultative. How do you be consultative in your presentation? You ask more questions. And the more questions you ask, the more they talk. And here's what you're going to find. You're going to find that your yes is identified in their responses. You see that? You're going to find that their yes is identified in their responses. All right. Number 2, how do you get them interested? Number 2, don't just talk to be talking. Don't waste words. Talk with a certain kind. Talk with a certain kind of intentionality. So while you're talking, you're asking questions. And you're looking for, in their responses, common denominators that you can match with what you have. So it's almost like when you were in school, and you had to draw the line to the answers. The right answer, you may have had, let's say, the definition, the word on one side of the page and the brief definition on the other, and it was all scrambled, and you had to draw the line to connect the right word with the right definition, right? That's talking with intentionality, because now what you're doing is you're connecting the dots. So every time you respond, you're responding based on what they're saying. And the last thing is, in that, you're going to identify a problem that you can solve. Let me tell you, go back to, I told you that me and my wife, when we first met, we knew of each other, but when we first met each other with the idea of us becoming a couple, our responses were not interested. But here's what happened. A few weeks later, I had recently had a heart attack, or a mild heart attack, from what they said. A few weeks, and I was on some cardiac pills. And a few weeks later, it was something, I was having an adverse effect. The pills was having an adverse effect on me. I didn't like the way it was feeling. So I called the mutual friend, and I said, hey, listen, do you think you could give me Aisha's number? You think she would mind, because my wife practiced family medicine. And I have a question. I have a medical question that I need her advice on. So he hung up. He called her. She said, it's okay. You could give her my number. And so I gave her a call, because I had a problem. And guess what? She immediately realized that the pill that I was on had only been in the market for about a week or two. So she immediately took me off. And that conversation, because she was able to solve it, I had a problem, she was able to solve it. It turned into 8 hours of conversation, thus now 12 years of marriage. So when you're able to solve people's problems in life, there's a young man that I was coaching as I get ready to close. There was a young man, he came to the altar one day. I prayed for him. What I didn't know is that he was manically depressed. He was about 24 years old or something like that, 24, 25 years old. He was contemplating suicide, and he was on multiple pills a day. He came to the altar for prayer. I prayed for him. He walked away. He called the church office about a week later and asked, did he have my number? The church contacted me. I said, give him my number. He said, it was just something that when you prayed for me, I felt the power. He said, he didn't know nothing about no power of God. He said, I felt something, and I just had to talk to you. He asked, could he have time? I said, I'll give you 1 hour of my time. We went and had breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning. True story. 8 o'clock in the morning, we had breakfast. I told him he had till 9 o'clock because I had other things to do. This young man didn't leave my presence till 10:30 p.m. that night. While he was in my presence, part of his problem, this is going to bless somebody. Part of his problem was that he had a degree in business, but he was working at Family Dollar, making about $12 an hour, sleeping on his father's couch. And he was just going through. He was having anxiety attacks, all kind of stuff was going on with him. Some level of mental illness was going on with him. As we were driving, I asked him this question. I said, can you sell? He said, no, because he was saying he needed a job or whatever. I said, can you sell? He said, no, that's not my style. I'm not a sales guy. I don't like that. So I gave him Coach Dan's definition of selling. And the definition that I said is a good salesperson is one that is able to effectively communicate his or her product or service, thus creating an opportunity for that potential client to make an intelligent decision to buy. That's what a salesperson is. There's no tricks, there's no schemes, there's no gimmicks. You have to be able to properly position your product or service to a potential client so that potential client can make an intelligent decision to buy. So I gave him some sales techniques and exercises while he was in my car. I said, if you're ever going to elevate your life, you're going to have to be able to sell something. We went to the bank. I went in to meet with the vice president of the bank. He was outside in a lobby waiting. I met with the vice president of the bank. I said, I need you to do me a favor. She said, what? I said, I need you to hire him. This is one day. He said, who? I said, my mentee that's with me. So I brought him into the office. The first thing she said in this impromptu interview was, can you sell? I had just finished teaching him. He literally, watch this. She said, sell me why I should use a paper clip instead of a stapler. He sold her. She hired him. 6 years later, he's closed on his first home. He's married now with 2 children. They have a combined household income of $140,000. Listen, you have to, why did I tell you that piece? Because sometimes you tell yourself you're not interested, not because, here we go, you don't want it, but because you don't think you can have it. And so what I want you to do is I want everything that you know you really want in life, I want you to go after it and stop telling yourself no when you haven't even positioned yourself to ask for it yet. It's not that not interested doesn't mean no. It simply means that you have not gotten their attention to get there yet. Listen, I'm not done, but I got to stop right there. I'm 5 minutes over. I trust and pray that this Wednesday Wednesday morning huddle will help you to grow not only in your business, but will also to help you grow in your life. Until next time, as always, prosper. I'm passing it back to you, Coach Ross.
Thank you, Coach Dan. Wednesday morning huddle. We got it now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Wednesday. Why Wakana? Coach Dan, are you going to be training this evening?
I got to see if folk going to be on. I'll make myself on. I do have a 6:30. So if people going to get on, I'll make myself on. Lately, it's just kind of been hit and miss. So we got to fix that. But we are working on all of those type of things. So I can jump on from 6:30 to about 6:45 because I got to speak tonight at 7. So you get on, I'll be there. Let's jump on and get it done.
Okay. All right.
I'm not
You
gonna
heard
wait
it.
though. I'll jump on. I'm not gonna wait. If folk not on, I'm only saying this because we get on. We have 2, 3, 4, 6 people. If we get on tonight at 6:30 and people are not jumping on, then Coach gonna jump off because he could be preparing for his 7 o'clock presentation. All
All
right.
right. Sounds good. Sounds good. So we've heard it right here first. So tonight, 6:30, get on there, be on time. Right, matter of fact, beat him there, okay? Even if they can't get in, just sit there and wait for the host to let you in. And then 7 o'clock, we got Wakana. So, and then 8 o'clock, Dr. Rita will always, as she always does, drop the mic with a personal thing that we deal with regarding any kind of issues that are going on. And so, listen, take advantage of all these tools that we have. So we'll see you here. Have a great, great, great Wakana kind of day. And be blessed. Bye bye for now.